Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets. Welcome, guys. I haven't seen you since Monday, but fear not, I could not stay away. I had a little bit of jury duty to take care of yesterday, performing my civic duty, but I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Max, Jackus, Tucker, and Dr. Will's Outlook. Welcome, guys. It is, and it goes without saying, I think it's a pretty big day for the markets. Obviously, Jerome Powell speaking here in about 2 hours, maybe 3. I'm not quite sure on the timing. Also, a big rip being priced into the market here ahead of time, ahead of the FOMC. Will we continue ripping out of FOMC? That is something that I know we're probably going to be discussing on this show. But before we can do that, guys, before we can start
big rip being priced into the market,
dude, I phrased it wrong.
Can't let you get away with
that. In my mind. It was the first thing that came to my mind. But before we can start cooking, before we can start sharing all the big juicy alpha that we have cooked up, and trust me, like we were cooking up some legitimate alpha last night. I mean, Tucker, for example, as I'm sure he'll show you, put together quite a comprehensive index of some of your favorite meme coins. So we're going to take a look at that as well, but not unless you hit the like button. Tucker will not show that unless you guys can show out on FOMC day. If you're not going to show out today, then when are you, right? But welcome, guys. I hope we've all had a fantastic week thus far. To just kind of give a brief commentary on where markets sit as we head into FOMC. We've given a huge rip, right, since yesterday's close, not just exclusive to Bitcoin and crypto, obviously also equity markets ripping. The NASDAQ up over 2% on the day, the S&P up about 1.5%, and NVIDIA, right, the stock that I've loved to talk about here over the last few weeks, has ripped about 10% on the day as well ahead of time. So, a lot to discuss, guys. A lot of green candles here as we head into FOMC. And like I said, are we going to rip out of FOMC, or was this kind of the rip that we typically see as a result of FOMC just being priced in ahead of time? And I know this is something that we are going to debate, but Jesus, man, what's up with some of these comments? But yeah, no. Welcome, guys. Let's just get right to the charts, right to the markets. What are we seeing, and how are we expecting, obviously, the next few hours to play out into Powell, and of course after Powell here as we head into this weekly close?
I mean,
you want to go?
First, I mean,
there's a lot.
Okay, first of all, let's circle back on something that you said, Tommy. A rip being priced in to the market before FOMC, brother. I cannot allow that type of inaccurate language to be used and spewed on this prestigious show that we call Market Check. I cannot allow for it. Here's the deal. We're going to see garbage price action all day. We saw garbage price action yesterday. We saw garbage price action on Monday. We saw garbage price action or misleading price action Sunday night, Monday morning. Leading into FOMC, it's always a nightmare, right? Like, don't get too excited about a little tiny micro pump, and don't get too excited about a sell-off like the one we saw yesterday, right? It's pre-FOMC. A lot of people hedging, and the way that people love to hedge their crypto exposure is by selling or de-risking their altcoins, right? Bitcoin actually didn't have such a bad day yesterday. It's still in a very healthy uptrend, but altcoins got abused a little bit. We saw U.S. equities not looking so great yesterday either. There were a handful that held up well, but generally like showing weakness, right? They've been basically de-risking and selling off for like a week and a half straight now, maybe even a little bit longer. I think what you are going to see is bears and hedgers get taken to the woodshed. Maybe not immediately, but I would expect us to be higher. I would expect risk to be higher by the end of this week. You're gonna see the market kind of rebalance a little bit. You're gonna see a lot of garbage price action locally. I am very much so expecting higher prices. Like, I think what you saw goes back to when, you know, QQQ and SPX started selling off. And I think the sort of what do you want to call, like, the canary here is you have IWM showing strength. You have Bitcoin hanging out above its mid-range and its 4.5-month, you know, range VWAP. There's certain altcoins that are showing like tremendous strength, like they know what's about to happen and they're just waiting for Bitcoin. And in my opinion, what you're about to see is like serious amounts of sideline capital that has gone into this FOMC in an attempt to de-risk get redeployed. You're about to see hedges come off the board. They might stretch it out until Thursday or Friday and wait till we get some jobs numbers, but today's FOMC might be pretty revealing. I think there's a lot more people sidelined and hedged and fearful and cautious than there are people overly exposed at quote unquote the highs. I think you're going to see the NASDAQ eventually go on to make a new high. I think you're going to see SPX go on to make a new high. I think IWM is going to finally go into price discovery and it's going to drag crypto up kicking and screaming. And yeah, I mean, I'm super, super bullish. Like, I think that at a minimum, like, it doesn't make sense to get bearish at all before the Fed actually gives you your first cut, which is like 48 days away, assuming it happens at the September FOMC. So I just think I think the bears are right. I think they're just way too early. And additionally, I think that you can, if there's one thing I'm pretty confident in saying, is that you can count and depend on your publicly elected officials to manipulate the economic data in order to be the wind in the Democrats' sails heading into the November election. You can always count on your politicians to lie. Their interests are aligned with ours. We want the market to go up. They need to try to win an election. Give us exactly what we need, keep gas prices low, send equity markets to highs, manipulate the data in your favor and our favor. Our interests are perfectly aligned. And worst case for the Democrats, they manipulate and lie about the data, and the policy surrounding that data is obviously not where it needs to be because they've lied and manipulated about it. And the worst case for the Democrats is they either get to take office again and they have another 4 years and who cares, or Trump takes office and he inherits a shitty situation. So I don't see a reason to be bearish here. I'm looking at the data. I think you're about to see over the next week, I think you're about to see higher prices. I do. I think there's been a lot of hedging and de-risking and fearfulness into FOMC, and I think the bears are early.
Here's the thing, though, Max. Like, I'm gonna give an unbiased opinion because I feel like everybody talking about or thinking about Trump being president this cycle is going to affect this cycle. I think it's more of a ripple effect and affects next cycle significantly more than it would affect this cycle if he ends up being president again. Because yes, he'll inherit a shitty economy essentially, and then I think that with the way that he sets things up, especially, and here's the thing that I think one thing that he did right, and I think that a lot of people don't really want to admit. And that was giving corporate tax cuts. And I think that the reason that worked out is because companies were hiring more, which means that more employees. And they were using that extra money they were getting from the tax cuts to make smart decisions, right? Not line the pockets of their investors, but expand the company and, use the revenue in a way that made sense. And I saw this with companies like Google. They benefited, right? And other bigger companies that actually benefited from those tax cuts in a way that allowed them to have more staff. And when you cut those, you then cut employees and so on and so forth. But I guess the point that I wanted to get to was that did actually have positive ripple effects, and that created a stimulative economy by releasing the boot on the neck to some of these businesses. Now, people argue both sides of that coin, and I think that there are negatives to it too, right? And that means that they can line the pockets of their investors and so on and so forth, and they can keep a lot more money in pocket and less taxes get paid. But I also think the government should be running lean and not as fat as it does. So I think that you have to have a caveat to that conversation. But I guess the point that I want to get to here is, like, I don't think that whoever is president this cycle affects this cycle specifically. I think the cycle's run almost a full presidential election behind, due to the policies that previously were there. Everything's a ripple effect. So I think that the decisions of this cycle will be determined by what Biden has done in his administration. I still think
The only
price.
thing-
What's up?
Sorry, I thought you were done. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. So I'll be real quick. I still think prices will go up, and I think like looking at IWM, that's my biggest risk on factor right now. And I can see IWM wants to freaking rip. It wants to absolutely rip. I think that people are ignoring the obvious signs here. Even if this is a temporary bounce, which could be right. So I don't want to dismiss Snorlax or Jackets' statements that they've been banging the table on, because that there's a possibility that risk could rip and then things could dump later. But I do want to definitely dismiss any this is the top of the cycle discussion, right? I don't think that that's the case at all. IWM definitely it's a really big factor right now, really big factor in my book. Like you're basically sitting here at a hammer at the high. So if this continues pushing through and closes like this, I think this is going up. But you gotta check it.
The only thing I heard from that monologue was the ripple effect.
Jack.
Yeah,
Here we
Had
go.
to
it is
say
what
it.
it is.
Yeah, to get it in. Had to get it in.
Ripple
It
would
is
be the most
ripping.
hated rally of all time, though. Probably.
I've
Yes.
heard that though for 2 cycles,
Yes.
bro.
I know,
Did
but
you guys
I
see
know,
the
but
tweet?
But that
Max?
goes to my
So-
point, Will, is that like if it finally did actually rip, like if it went to like 200 billion market cap, do you know how many people that like capitulated at 45 cents? Like, they would jump off of buildings, Will. Like there's so many people that capitulated in this bottom range.
Well,
It
Max,
would be the
did you
most
see the
hated rally.
chart of others' dominance in XRP.
Do you know how many times I heard everyone, even Joshua Jake at the bottom, saying like, "Get rid of all your XRP." Like
I wouldn't tell people that.
Even Joshua Jackus?
Yeah, he was like super loud and very annoyed about XRP. Like 2 months ago, saying get away, like everyone sell all their XRP, like it was everywhere. And what's doing since then? Just up only, basically. It's gonna be, as you said, one of the most hated rallies out there. The cope is gonna go through the roof, but right, don't touch it until it's at $6, because I need someone to be my exit liquidity. So please keep avoiding it. I know Tom is laughing. He knows the game.
Look at this comment, Jackus. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, it seems like everybody has like ASMR style mics.
XRP.
But professional streamers. No. Anyways,
I guess
I wanted to ask Max, because he was mad at me yesterday, like super mad. He was like, "Jackies, I'm gonna spank you." I'm just joking, but he was like,
None of this is true.
Jackies,
Don't believe
you
a
need-
word out of his mouth. None of this happened.
"You need to talk more. Listen, you're gonna get a new mic. You need to talk more." And I was like, "All right." But yesterday I was gonna ask you a question, and I didn't get to it because you guys kept waffling about something. I'm just joking. But
You're probably not wrong, Jackus.
listen, I was gonna ask you about what do you think of the Coinbase stock? Because I remember you saying that it acts as a beta to Bitcoin, and I think it still is going to go like way higher. Of course, I think it's gonna go to like $500 or higher. But I think that locally it can still dip to like 180 or so. If that were to play out, how do you think that BTC would behave in that scenario?
Let me pull up a chart here.
I feel like we should, when we discuss these things, like with Coinbase and stuff, we should say whether it's a
We should check
trade.
the like button. We should check the like button first before we get into an alpha. That's for sure, Boyle.
Are panic liking, guys. I can easily flip to the soybean chart. Start panic liking.
Panic liking?
It'll take me like 1 second to flip to the soybean chart, guys. It's no problem at all.
Oh, there's some
So-
nice. There's some
Either
nice
people cook
lines.
on the like button, or Max cook on the chart, or Max cook on the soybean chart. It's up to you.
One addition real quick, and then I'll shut up. But I think we should when we discuss like things like coin and other things, I think we should say as a trade or as an investment, because some things I talk about are for investments. Like I think they're good DCA things that you can continue to DCA in over the years, but some of the things that we discuss are like just trades, right? Do we think it's good for a trade for the cycle, or a trade for a couple months, or do we think it's a trade for just so the audience can get a better gauge on what we're thinking with assets?
I think that's a mighty fine idea, Will.
Mhm.
I am not an investor in coin. I just own crypto. I think that I can outperform coin just by playing native crypto assets. And I also have made the argument that if I'm going to own a legacy ticker, legacy market ticker that is correlated to crypto, MicroStrategy is hands down a better option. So I am not an investor in coin, but I am bullish coin. Like, I think it's going to go up. But when I look at the chart, this is what I see. So I see your bear market accumulation range right down here. And then I basically see like your confirmed breakout and range retest, range high retest. This could have, if we were going to be bearish, easily been like a deviation, but it wasn't. It's a bull market. So we'll put this as your confirmed breakout. We'll make this green. We'll say breakout, and we'll put this up top. And then I view this as the next markup phase, where we have basically, this is mega demand right here. Like everything under here is
Agreed.
like serious demand right here. You should not really go too deep into this. I would maybe allow like this region, maybe, big maybe, but it should not get deeper than like this region, right? We'll put this, we'll just mark this as like a red zone, like a don't you dare go below this. I do not want to see it. Okay. Breakout confirmed. Don't go below here. We'll even put some text. Don't go below. We'll put this inside. Go to the right. And additionally, what I see right here is I see this as like either a range like this, or you could maybe tighten it up, do something like this. So like, let's take a look at it locally. Nah, I'd probably go to the bottom. I'd probably go bottom like this. I would say this is just a local range right here. I don't really know where you want to put your range low. It doesn't matter. You could maybe do this, right? And you could count this as kind of like a deviation below your range low. But additionally, what I'm excited about here is this is your new range. This is your new value. And you are printing, technically, you are printing consecutive higher lows and also higher highs within this little uptrend here. So I wouldn't think that just because like this is a clear level here, we have to go down. I would say we're in an uptrend. Like if you protect this low right here, you probably just continue to move up, you know? So I don't know. I'm just generally bullish. Could it go down to like 180? It's possible, but that would in fact require Bitcoin to go to like, 52, in my opinion. Like you would have to see ETH down below 3K, and you'd probably have to see Bitcoin in the low 50s. I think if that doesn't happen, then you're not going to get your fill. Additionally, like I like how we filled this little gap right here. Like we filled in this gap on the chart. That looks nice to me. And we could be bottomed here. I'm not like bearish this chart because we filled this gap. We're in a structured uptrend. Clearly you can see, and we've got mega demand below us. So I wouldn't like short this looking for lower, honestly. Like I would not be shorting this looking for lower, but I would say if it went lower, I'd be a buyer. That's how I view it personally.
Could I get the chart for 2 seconds? I would steal it, but it's not in my cards.
Will, we've been over this, bro. You have admin rights.
Oh, I do? I didn't know that.
Steal it right now, Will. Did you do it?
Do you guys remember this discussion? I haven't moved anything.
Damn it.
Do you guys remember this discussion?
Yeah, can we go back quick to coin though, Will? Because Jack has asked me. I thought you were going to talk about coin.
No, my bad.
All right,
I thought we were done with coin.
Let's finish this conversation, then we'll go to.
My apologies.
No, you're good. You're good. I thought you were just going to talk about coin because we were on that topic. Jack, you said 180 maybe. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Share some thoughts on this?
That's basically your range that you have, or like that don't go below zone that you have there. The reason for that, I think, is that first we did not really touch it. I think we still could go there, but as you know or may not know, I was an active buyer at that range low retest around like $100 or something, 110. It was my first buy. Then I was rebuying again on the first retest on the lowest low on this recent one that you have. I was selling now at this range high. I have the range marked differently than you do. So in my opinion, we just had a range high retest. But I'm seeing a market structure break there on the daily now. And I think this chart, like as you say, right, I am bullish, very much bullish on this chart. Like, looking like 2 months up front, maybe 3 months, hard to argue with the time. But approximately the next few months. But I think that locally it can totally come back down to 180, especially with the latest rejection at range highs. And if that's so, then like what does that imply for BTC, right? Because we know that if you actually gonna put BTC at the bottom of the chart, we can see that these two move pretty much together. So yeah, that's kind of my take there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. It just like what you're really playing is you're playing crypto, right? It's here we can draw
it's a higher beta Bitcoin basically, because if BTC is going to go like 50%, Coinbase is gonna go like 150 to 200%.
I have a little bit of a different thought with Coinbase. I think it's gonna. I think that you need confirmation of a breakdown. I don't think you have it yet.
Now, at that confirmation, that's when you buy.
Yeah, and that could be the case too. But
at that point, you're gonna get a confirmation. Is when you're gonna retest that box that Max have thrown there, right? That's too late.
I think.
I mean,
I think you need confirmation.
This is the spot. Like Coinbase is not going to 180 unless Bitcoin goes down here, right? So you have to get that NASDAQ fractal. Like Bitcoin has to go to 54, 53, in my opinion.
No. Coinbase is never below 216 ever again. I'm looking at it.
I would say
ever.
I would say 205. You break 205, you get confirmation. I don't think you have to get the 180 to get confirmation. I think 205 you get confirmation.
215.
You're just trading crypto, so it's like there would be no point in shorting Coinbase or like selling Coinbase if you don't think Bitcoin's going to low 50s. Yeah. I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. But like I see the level, right? And I've also been clear, like if that NASDAQ fractal that Jackus has plays out, then yeah, Coinbase is going to 180. But I just don't think it's going to happen. But it's not like a 0% chance. Like it's on the table. It's not what I'm planning for,
All right,
can I get something?
Totally fine. I'm just saying.
No. One coin chart.
Hang on, Jackus was about to finish. You hyenas cut him off again.
Talk, Jackus, talk.
It's big bull propaganda. But
we're trying to have this Coinbase discussion, and everyone keeps waffling over him. He's a polite European, okay? Polite Europeans don't cut people off.
Tucker would say a Euro scalper.
I know. I set one up for you, Jackus. Keep talking. I'm just gonna take this, but keep talking.
Is that 100R? He won't take it if it's not 100R.
It's 25R.
That's not enough.
That's not enough. You gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this record.
All right, go ahead, Jackus.
Yeah, like my range there is if you see the first swing before those local highs on Coinbase.
Right here.
Yeah, that's my range.
Right here.
With higher range low. Higher. Just use that first swing as a range.
Oh, you're talking about like this?
Yes. So at that range highs, that's where I was selling those profits. Again, first buy around 130% gain. The other was 30% gain. I think we just had a perfect, like, sort of a meme rising channel into range highs. It's gonna differ. I do not know why TradingView does this, but it's different when you go on. I suppose it's due to like pre-market, aftermarket, maybe.
Yeah.
But there is different wicks on the daily and higher than there on the intraday time frames. But I use the daily usually, and I see a reject. I was foreseeing a rejection there, so that's why I was selling there. Locally, I see that if you're gonna like zoom in on the latest move, I see a structural break there, and that could lead to that 180. In which case, again, I'm like pretty bullish on both charts, going up front like 2-3 months forward.
Mhm.
But I think that if coin is gonna retest that 180 level, I think that it could drag BTC down with it because they are pretty correlated. But let's see how that plays out, right?
Max,
I
do
mean,
you
I
have
would
the?
argue that, but hang on,
you have
I would argue that Bitcoin is the driver for Coinbase's price, not the other way around. You said if Coinbase retests 180, it would drag Bitcoin down. I would argue it's the opposite way. Like if you look at when Coinbase really started to move over here, like Bitcoin starts moving first and then Coinbase makes money because Bitcoin goes up. Like I think it would be Bitcoin drops and sends Coinbase down, not the other way around.
I think that's a very good argument, but if you're gonna look at the top that you had on that breakout box, you see that Coinbase stopped first too, right? So like I think that sometimes, and I think there is a big, like we know that nearly all the spot ETFs are being traded on Coinbase. We know that BlackRock and all these institutions were making insane allocations into Coinbase stock ahead of the spot ETF, like 1 year or 2 year ahead. So they were planning all of this. We know that lots of the BTC is now kind of, like I think, as you said, it's worth watching stuff like MicroStrategy, Coinbase, because not only those companies hold tons of Bitcoin themselves, but like BlackRock also owns insane amounts of shares alongside other institutions there. So I think they are like, I cannot say like which one exactly move each other. I just look at both of them, and as you do probably, and try to draw conclusions, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's both. It's kind of probably depending on the state of the market in general. It's a bit both, but okay. We'll bring some other people into the conversation. I cut the hyenas off after they cut the Euro scalper off. What would we like?
I'm gonna cut them off back.
With Coinbase, do you have the those VWAP clouds, Max?
Of course I do, Tommy. Of course I do. What kind of question is that? Of course I do.
For the yearly VWAP on Coin, I think they're kind of. I think they kind of illustrate Jackus's point that we could continue to come down a little bit more, but the yearly VWAP right now on it is. Let me pull it up. I had it.
I can't steal the stream.
The yearly VWAP's at about 202.
Yep, it's right. I have it right here. We'll move this down a little bit. Here's the Coinbase VWAP, yearly VWAP right here.
If you get a full rotation, you could come down into that 180 level.
Why would you get a full rotation though?
What if you draw a VWAP from the recent major swing low that Max has drawn from the breakout? Like if you no from the breakout box.
Oh, right
from the
here.
Green box. Yes.
This low. Probably be pretty close to this
because that's where you want to draw it from, in my opinion.
Ooh, look at that. It's right at current price.
Bottom.
Are you drawing it from? Look at this.
That's where Jack has said to draw it from.
Yeah, that's yeah. Look at that.
Those are valid swing lows to draw VWAPs from, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll take one from the high.
Are any of you buying coin for 2x? I think this needs to be the topic of discussion here.
None of FX.
I wouldn't buy spot Coinbase. I would buy some leaps or something like that. You know. It's a naked
Bro.
Even
call.
I feel like options on coin are kind of impossible to play because the
Yeah.
IV is high. It's hard to even
Yeah.
play options on it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think there's upside potential here, but unless you can like find some kind of leverage play for like the 10x this position, is it worth entertaining? This shit's it was $30 on the floor.
I think the
But
reason you
but that's the same argument
Well, we
as saying
know
Sol. That's
that
the
you are
same
not
argument as saying,
interested in anything sub 10x.
Will, that's
There
the
is a
same as
sticker
saying
for
that Solana was $8. Why would I buy Sol here at 180?
No, there isn't a discussion there. What I'm stating
That's
is
the exact
like,
same argument
no,
as saying why would I buy
because-
Sol when it was $8 in the bear market? It's the same
no,
thing.
because I can run beta on Sol. There's a difference. I can't run beta on coin. There's
Why
a big
not?
difference.
There's
But
a whole
beta-
derivatives market on coin.
Beta on coin is BTC, which is like, you want, like, if you know
3x,
where Coinbase is
4x.
going, you know where BTC is going, therefore you know where crypto is going.
I think there's more X's in Sol.
I think as well, if you're bullish on coin as an equity play, like as a proxy, if you're bullish on coin, that will be a tailwind for something like Hood stock. So you could play potentially Hood options under the basis that if coin breaks out, it's going to be really bullish for Hood. I think that's another like an actionable trade that you could put on based on coin. But I tend to agree. I think it's more of like a barometer at this point rather than something that you're going to get huge multiples off of.
I'm okay with
I think Tommy hit the nail on the head there, because looking at Hood actually alongside the Coinbase chart, they are very correlated. Very correlated.
Why would you buy coin when you could buy MSTR? Look at the chart.
Bro, like I'm completely agreeing. I think buy anything.
I would never buy coin over MSTR ever. MSTR is leveraged Bitcoin with cash flow. That's literally what they've made MSTR. It is leveraged Bitcoin with a cash flow attached to it. It's better than Bitcoin. Literally, it's better to hold at this point. It's better at this point to hold MSTR than to hold spot Bitcoin. 100%. I don't own either. I'm playing shit coins, but I'm just telling you, like, I've been saying this since the bear market. I would never hold Coinbase over MSTR. Inferior product.
I was just entertained. Like I wasn't trying to disrupt the conversation. I was just like, man, we are talking peanuts here. I'm like, I'm looking for the whole bowl of popcorn. We're talking peanuts.
The whole bowl of popcorn. Oh man.
We need that sticker. 10x, I'm not interested.
I went to the movie theater. They're like, which candy would you like? I'm like, the Snickers. Right there, the one at the top, the extra large.
Snickers, Will. Don't do it. I mean, dude, look at MSTR divided by Bitcoin. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, here's MSTR against Bitcoin. Like, look at how this has been performing since the low here. It's leveraged Bitcoin with cash flow. Bro,
I feel like
I'm an asset that can outpace the MicroStrategy chart, Max. I'm sorry, Will. I had to say
it's
this.
The best since January 1st, 2023. It's up 213% against spot Bitcoin. It is leveraged Bitcoin with a cash flow attached to it. Very few understand this. I don't own it. I can do better with Bitcoin.
What I think can outperform it, or should be outperforming it, is the like button. I had to say.
Oh wow, Tommy.
Sneaky.
I had to.
This is why I don't hold MSTR.
Hold on.
This is why I don't hold MSTR, because I own Pepe, because Pepe's outperforming MSTR. Max, but if I was a boomer, just buy MSTR. Like these ETFs, literally the spot ETFs are not needed. Just buy MSTR.
Max, soybeans.
Is it soybean time? Let me see.
It is soybeans time.
Oh God, we're not even at 200 likes. Tucker, let's go back to you, man. Can we get some soybeans?
I couldn't let you cook anymore without
these.
Nope, no more alpha. Soybeans.
I know.
Here's the cotton candy futures chart. That's a nice chart. Candy, man. All right, guys, here's the deal. If you could start panic liking the show, that would be epic. It'd be really, really cool, guys. We are right now looking at the cotton candy futures. Nice colors, nice little volume profile there. Very, very clean range here on cotton candy futures. You guys could do us a solid. Please consider liking the stream. Unfortunately, we live in a world where the amount of growth that our channel experiences is directly correlated to the amount of likes that we get on our show and the videos. So I know it costs you guys nothing, and it's annoying to have to actually click a button, right? But if you are a market check enjoyer, please consider supporting the BB boys in their ventures. Hit that like button. And if you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button as well, guys. We are live Monday through Friday. We cook for about an hour and a half Monday through Friday. It's a great time. We talk charts. We have discussions. It's a really grand old time. And sometimes we look at cotton candy futures on Heikanashi, Heikanashi candles. And we denominate it in the Indian rupee.
Let's go dollar. Let's
What?
switch it to I don't know why its native default is the Indian rupee.
What?
Guys, we need five more likes, guys. That's it. We need 200 likes. That's it. And then we can get back to the show for good.
Make sure to favorite the
So
Indian.
One
does
more
this mean-
like. One more like. That's it. If you haven't liked it, all right, there we go. Back to the show. Back to the show.
Does this mean cotton candy is going out of business? Is that what that means?
Dude, it doesn't look
I
good
just
for
need to know.
cotton candy, Will. I'm not gonna lie.
It needs to reclaim that point of control. Otherwise, cotton candy is going out of business. So
Cotton
yeah.
candy's
Chapter
a
11
VC
on cotton candy.
It doesn't look good, bro. It doesn't look good.
Cotton candy's a VC scam, guys.
Yeah.
few.
When you're done, Max, I need the chart.
I'm just looking at MSTR versus Pepe, showing you guys that I have in fact outperformed the outperform more. All right. Don't even get me started on Andy. All right. Will, you want the chart?
Yes.
Oh, wait, real quick. Hang on. Let's get to this question first. Condition for Jack is cooking.
Only if Jackus admits football is the superior sport.
Well, he can say football and technically still agree with you, Will.
The brown ball, the pigskin.
Jackus, say your price. What does the meal cost today?
The bar is too high. It's unaffordable. Non-negotiable.
Well, we don't need to negotiate, but what does the meal cost?
It's super expensive.
I know. You said that. What does it cost?
At this point, it doesn't even have a price tag.
So it's free?
No. What he's saying is that the stream starts off bad and these guys can't naturally like, then the likes goes up significantly. And because they haven't naturally liked, they didn't want Jackus to cook today. That's what he's saying. So they have to get on and like without us saying anything.
The selfless likers.
Yeah.
Will, you're on the chart.
Listen, Max, before Will starts, let's say when I feel happy about the like button and the comment section and so forth, then maybe one day I shall cook. You guys, it's up to you.
He's a particular chef.
He's graduated into Michelin star territory.
Yeah.
He only cooks for kings and queens. You know, you can't even buy his food.
He's the type of guy who will charge you $500 for the plate. And then the second you complain, he'll come up and pick the plate up off your table and tell you to get out. If you try to put ketchup on anything, he tells you to get out.
It's the type of restaurant where if you want to work, you have to pay to work there.
To pay to work.
Is that real?
Just
It's
joking.
a backwards internship.
They are actually like in the real world, there are restaurants that are so good that there is lots of people who go work there for free just to have a resume that they work there, right? Like they will work 1 or 2 years there for free and do their absolute best just to say, hey, I worked for these guys, and then they can go and cook basically like wherever they want because
Yeah. That's like a unpaid internship kind of apprenticeship.
not that it is me, not that it is my restaurant yet. I have lots to improve, but just saying it's like how it's out there.
So let me ask you guys a question. I don't know if people really pay attention. Does anybody remember me presenting this chart here a few days ago and talking about how we were going to fill this gap up here? I don't know if any of you guys remember that. We go through a lot of charts on day. It sounds like a no. Sounds
Are
like
you
a
asking
unanimous
us
no.
or are you talking to the comment section?
I'm talking to you guys.
I remember it.
And we were roughly in here, right? And I was like, okay, fill the gap, then fill the gap. Where are we at now? So we went from here and opened all the way up here. Think about that.
So where are we going, Will? Where are we going?
Well, first off, we're gonna finish filling the gap. And if we flip 5589, shit's going straight up. Like, just cut the bearishness. Ain't going down no more.
What's your target for the VIX, Will?
If you reject there, you're cooked. What's my target for the VIX?
Yeah, assuming yellow line plays
I
out.
mean,
Where's the VIX going?
Let's kind of look here, right? Let's look at my target for the VIX. Let's do a bars, right? From the low. And let's target the VIX. There's your target for the VIX.
That's not the VIX though.
Or sorry, not the VIX, for SPX. I thought you were talking about SPX, my bad. So VIX, you don't want to get me started on VIX.
I do. That's why I
I
want to get
started. I told you guys the other week when we were talking about it, I was like, this is it. It's cooked. It's over. It's done.
Where's it going?
Boom. Straight back down.
Call the target. Where's
down.
the VIX going?
Will, this chart is just madness. It is madness.
We don't have to discuss it, okay?
Pure chaos.
Dude.
Mayhem.
Look, let me mark the local bottom. It's not that bad. All right. It's not as bad as some of my charts. But look, boom, boom, boom. And I'm telling you guys, look, our ultimate goal is here. That's our ultimate goal. When we get here, tops in, you get cooked, and then markets start to run again. Right? So what I mean by that is this right here. Look what date this was. This was 2017. Guess what that was for Bitcoin? Anybody? That was the top.
The top? Yeah, I was gonna say
that was the top. That was the top. Right? I think we'll probably be somewhere. And then look over here. Let's go back. And we go a little further back. So we had 17, and then the previous cycle here. We'll just put Bitcoin underneath, actually, just to kind of show this out. But I don't know. Like, look, actually, I'm not going to get into that. Point being, ultimate goal is here. Okay? Ultimate goal is here. That's the goal. Right now, we hit the mid-range. Now, keep in mind, this red line right here across the middle, and we can get rid of all this. It doesn't matter. This red line right here across the middle, that's your highest, I would say, resistance structure, right? So you have a high, you have a low. This is where price likes to remain either suppressed or above, right? So it'll either remain support or resistance. We hit it, right? We hit the mid-range play here. So in my perspective, we are on a track to a downtrend on VIX. That means volatility is going to slowly wheedle down. Your biggest plays tend to be, or at least your biggest volatility plays, again, 17 being right here, and 17 was just a straight up and straight down, right? That's what I think will occur here, but that won't be till next cycle.
I kind of think you're going to get a big VIX spike some point in like 2025. And then you could see like QE, they step in again, repeat what happened in 2021, 2022, that kind of thing.
That's
and
right
then
here.
you just get then you get your cycle low, you know.
You'll get something like that. You get the move back to us.
I was looking at the VIX, and by the way, like I generally agree with you. I just think like it's not here. Let me
locally, that's a top, bro. Look at these tops. That is locally a top.
Will, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this is your level that you buy the VIX, like 9 to 10 every 10 years or something, whatever.
Every 10 years.
Basically every
decade.
10 years. Yeah.
Every
10 years.
decade.
So
Yeah.
2027, you can go ahead and go purchase VIX insurance for about $9. And then that's it. There you go.
Well, buy it ahead of time because everybody's going to start buying then.
No, but I'm saying that's when you get the bottom on the VIX is every 10 years about. I mean, obviously that's not going to be the same, but I think that's
you buy
your
every
level.
once 10 years and then you go on a vacation for the next 10 years. You come back, you buy, you go for a vacation.
No, because you actually see once you hit that bottom, Bitcoin has topped historically, right at that bottom.
Yeah.
So
here it's only one.
Yeah.
There's only one instance. Yeah.
But the point being, it hasn't had a full like lifespan beyond that.
I mean, in 21,
so if we
at 21 when Bitcoin topped, the VIX was at 14.
Yeah.
Here's the point though. If Bitcoin tops again at that low, you gotta have a pattern, right? A decade pattern that you can play off of.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's all I need for confirmation. 10 years is plenty enough time to get full confirmation that pattern will probably stick, and I'll play off of that. But it's similar. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I was just saying it's similar with SPY and a lot of other things. The point being is I think locally, while a lot of people are looking for downside, VIX is not showing local downside, or it's not showing that downside is in the cards. It's showing that it's stopped. I don't think that we're going much higher than where we are on VIX, and I think that this is where it pit rolls straight back down to the low, fill the wick on the weekly.
But see, Will, look at my chart here, man. I like your analysis on it, but it's just way, way, way too high time frame because there's some really big corrections that we get, kind of like intra-cycle, right?
Once you get a breakout.
Spike.
Yeah.
Right? Like, look at all the, I mean, based on your idea, like you would have then had to stay long all the way through 2022 just because we didn't hit that bottom trend line yet. Like this right here, Will.
No. So there's mid cycles.
2022.
There's mid cycles, right? So you get the high spike and then you get the hell out. Then you get the low push and then you get the hell out. So that was the high spike. I just think it makes sense
to look at the VIX on like a lower time frame because you're gonna get like you're just gonna get wrecked from drawdown. Like there's just ways to prevent that. Like I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like this is on a smaller time frame. Like I feel like you need this information, truthfully.
What's the time frame we're using? The daily?
This is the 3-day. So it's like still we go back 6-7 years and we're looking at all this, but it shows you that you get these compressions, and then once you finally break out of them, like you get kind of some turmoil, right? But if you're looking at the monthly,
saying downside.
If you're looking at the monthly here and you're just like, yeah, I'm only gonna sell like here. I'll mark these out. I'm only gonna sell when the VIX is at that bottom line. It's like here, and it's like
no. So that's not what I was indicating, Max.
This would have sold too early. Okay.
No, that's not. So what I was indicating was the decade scenario, right? I'm not saying to hold through all the drawdown. There's going to be 2 cycles in a decade, right? So 3 up, 1 down, get out. 3 up, 1 down, get out. Your decade hit.
Okay,
guys.
All right. Yeah.
Also, I want you to debate this, right? So every time, like we discussed, what implication it has on BTC, and that's sure. But let's discuss why WIX goes up, and that's because SPX. So if you are, and Tom is laughing there because he knows where I'm going.
I just love the way that you pronounce it.
All right. If WIX is going higher, that means trouble for the stocks, which is why it means trouble for Bitcoin. So you essentially want to be paying attention to what SPX is doing. And as you can see during the 2017, when BTC had its blow of top parabola, SPX did go kind of like it had 2 major corrections. It didn't even do as bad as Bitcoin has, right? It still had 2 major corrections. So this should be kept in mind. So be careful if SPX is heading into a trouble, because BTC will be coming with it.
I guess for me, I don't like, if you can kick it back, Max, real quick. I'm on the daily right now. I don't see the thesis where, look, I got rid of everything else. Like, I don't see the thesis where this is not a top locally. This is on
I
the
agree
daily.
at the top, Will. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not at all. I actually agree with you. I think the VIX is about to get absolutely pummeled. 100% I agree with you. Like, I think we'll probably see like a sub 10 handle on VIX again. And then eventually we'll see a spike up to like 25 or 30. But like, I do think the VIX is going to get crushed here. I was just saying, like, on your ultra zoomed out view, like, I don't think it really works for positioning. Like, seeing VIX at that cyclical low, it hasn't really called the Bitcoin top that once, but for stocks, it hasn't. Like,
no. So I guess for the cyclical low, I kind of said it, but I'll say it again. That's more towards the next cycle. Right. I don't think it's happening this cycle. Like, I think 892 is 9 something is the ultimate low. Right. But that's a whole cycle away. This cycle, we're going to continue to play this low range. And I think once you start playing the high range, whatever that may be, you'll get a spike. Right. And then from there, you'll play back into the low range and you'll come back into your low end range price action to wherever that may be at the lows, right? All the way across the bottom. So you're going to get a spike. I don't think it'll be a spike to that degree. I think it'll be more like it'll play here. It'll spike here. This will be your top. It'll come back in. And then you'll get your low. And then this will be your top again a decade later or 4 years later. And then you'll start trading this way, right? And what I mean by that is, if we go back, we see that crypto, not crypto, but VIX.
Oh my God.
Look, no. The point being is it's V, right? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. So the trade will switch to this direction, to the upside. It'll be a more volatile decade. The more volatile decade is okay. So I'll try and break this down in a little more of a feasible way. This way is down, less volatile. This way is up, more volatile. Down, up, down, up. Which one do you think is your more profitable decade out of these? It's going to be these. These are going to be your more profitable decades because the volatility swing is insane. So it's going to be this.
Yeah. No, that's right. Because I mean, we saw with the tech bubble, the VIX rose for like 2 or 3 years with price because the gains to the upside were so extreme. I mean, obviously it was like super volatile as the VIX would indicate, but
exactly.
Yeah, no, we had a very prolonged period of time where you could argue that that's more like a signature of super high froth, is when you have price rapidly appreciating and the VIX also in a consistent grind and uptrend like that.
Yeah, and the point I guess that I'm trying to get to here is that we're now in that cyclical downtrend. Our profits aren't going to be as great as they can be the next decade, right? The next decade, they should be to the extreme side. And so this is more of my like way far out macro thesis. Is like, okay, I got plenty of time to make money here, but I need to set up for the next decade. I know not a lot of people think that far ahead, but like once this starts occurring, that's where you become a millionaire, billionaire, so on and so forth. Everybody wants to do it right now while we're in a downtrend on the VIX. The volatility is not going to be there for you. I guess you could become a millionaire, billionaire if you play it smart, but I think your ultimate biggest plays here are a much farther out horizon. I guess for me though, the point I wanted to get to here is that, we're starting to see suppressed to the downside. We have a clear top at the highs. We hit those tops. We're now rejecting. We're coming back down. We also have Russell and IWM signaling the same thing. Low caps, high risk, wants to move to the upside. And I think that people are ignoring this. I mean, you got to hammer
signal, Will. That's what I've been saying, man, is like the Russell is telling you all you need to know right now. Like it is signaling that things are about to get really, really stupid to the upside.
Yeah, and if you look here, all like I consider Lucid and Rivian very high risk. They're all bouncing. They're all bouncing very hard. You have SPX. SPX came in on the lower time
Dude, even
frames.
I'm pretty sure PayPal started bouncing recently. That was one we were looking at a while ago here. Look at that one, Will. PayPal.
Yeah, I haven't looked at them in
You
a
could
while.
just type
I
it in
bought
if
the
you can't
low
find it. You could just type in on your keyboard PYPL. It'll just pop up. Like everything is gonna start bouncing. Like everything, all the shit codes are bouncing.
Yeah, I mean that's
Look
a
at
pretty
Bitcoin's
nasty
monthly
gap though.
chart. Like everything, man. Like all the garbage is about to get sent. Everything.
Yeah, I don't know
Blow-off,
how.
man. The ultimate exit pump.
I don't know how people look at the monthly here and are bearish. Bro. Like here, let me just delete everything real quick. Look
Yeah,
at that,
Thank
Wick.
God.
Mm,
Thank you, Will.
Look at that, Wick. Like,
juicy.
for the low, you might as well call that an 80% buy up from the low.
You were like or like what 12,000 points off the monthly low.
Yeah, it's absolute insanity to say this is bearish. Like
I would agree.
24% up from the low.
I would rather have us engulf that the previous month if we could, but it still looks totally fine.
I
What is
mean,
that? 67?
Yeah.
If you get a close here, like I think the low thesis is cooked. Like I don't think you can get lower than where we've gotten. I just don't. I think this thing's like it was going this direction, and now it's starting to trade this direction, in my opinion.
Okay,
on the higher
wait.
time frame.
So, Jackus, what are your thoughts on that monthly candle right there? Because I know you're a structural enjoyer.
I was already discussing this on BB. I'm not sure if you heard it, but I was saying that like bullish monthly candle like this is bullish, and I said that the market structure daily on BTC is still bullish, but I still say that there are risks, and you cannot like be certain as of right now. And I gave conditions for when I'm fully convinced it is. And I think especially like, you know, if you are solely crypto looking alongside other stuff, if you're going to look at the way ETH is looking, it's still very much troubling because, you know, they both move in tandem, right? But I agree, if you like, again, they are both great bullish and bearish arguments right now. And this is definitely probably the best bullish argument for BTC, in my opinion.
What do you guys think of this? Obviously a lot higher, but the point.
What, like the hammer candle into a?
No. So look at these tops. How long do we stay up here when it's topped?
What do you think of the? What do you think of ETH, Tucker, right now? I would like to know.
ETH?
From the daily perspective.
From the daily perspective. I bet you do, Tommy. This is the range, boys. This is the range.
Okay. Yeah, but from the daily perspective, what do you think of ETH right now?
I think it looks fine as long as you're kind of above this little quarterly piece of the range, like bullish above here, somewhat bearish below here, looking for a sweep. If we lose 3150, I would bet you come and clean up. Okay. These are basically equal lows, but what?
Absolutely not. Look, study 29K to 31K.
Will. I'm saying if you lose that, then you set up your little Euro scalp, right? That's what you do. But
we are in a structured uptrend.
Yes. Yeah, no, for sure. Like it looks more, it's different, right? And I tweeted this the other day, obviously, but like it does look like the Bitcoin at 25K, right? This and then this, and then this was
there is a big
scale, and then
there's a big difference, and you may actually want to put them side by side. And the difference is in the daily structure that you have there, because at 25K, you had a bullish structure, but here on ETH you have bearish one on the daily. So that's
I
what's
see,
happening.
yeah, for
bearish.
lower highs, I see.
I don't think it's bearish. I don't see bearishness in
I
that
mean,
chart.
you could say you had a market structure shift potentially.
You had a market structure shift to the upside, and you've come back, and you're now trying to carve out a higher low.
You do not have a shift to the upside there.
Yes, you do.
Because we did not break 3.5K.
Hold on.
That's
So
a market structure break to the upside.
You wouldn't
Tether
call...
just released their first half of the year earnings. They made almost $6 billion in revenue.
Yeah,
that's like most
in
the world. Outside of a handful.
Off of gambling.
They hold a ton of treasuries.
No, they get paid by the U.S. government. They started off sketchy, but they're one of the most profitable and legitimate businesses in the world now.
No, but the funny part is
like,
and the funny part is that if they wanna, like, if they destroy them, they actually destroy the USD buyer, which is so funny. It's such a circle right now.
They've been buying bonds now for a couple years since the last cycle, and I brought this up a couple years ago. I'm like, people don't get what they're doing. They're basically buying into the government, so the government can't do anything to them. That's what they're doing. Now they're entrenched. Now how do you get crypto out?
What's the saying? They're like making their sacrifice to the gods that are the U.S. government. Like, hey, we'll pay you, we'll buy your bonds, just don't come after us. We have a legitimate business now. Yes. We didn't in the past, so just ignore that, but we do now.
So Tommy, how does that make you feel when people talk about USDT FUD?
Tommy, I got some news for you. I don't know if you saw this, but
you guys haven't been through USDT FUD like I was.
On July 26th, Nancy Pelosi bought 10,000 shares of NVIDIA on the dip.
Oh, I know she did. She did at the complacency high too.
It's over for you.
She did at the complacency high too.
You gotta get out, brother.
She's the best trader the world has ever seen, bro.
Yes,
bro. There's nobody who's better than her. But hey, let me see the chart real quick, Tucker. Screw ETH.
Dear God,
Nancy bought $1.3 million worth of NVIDIA on the dip.
Where's her stop loss,
bro? Look,
where do you think her stop?
Animal.
Tommy, look, I'm gonna give you some headroom. All right, I'm not gonna come down to you as hard as everybody else. All right, but if you
lying, don't believe him.
Go ahead. If you flip 117, cut your freaking shorts, bro. Cut them, literally cut them, because this shit's going up. If you flip 117.
I mean, if we get a big reaction out of Powell, I'd definitely probably trim those shorts. But like, I view this as the pump I thought we were going to get on Powell from a bull crush is kind of happening now. That's kind of my view.
I could see this though, Tommy. I do agree. I could see this. Right. I could see that too. So I'm going to be fair here.
Will, you think Nancy's going to be underwater for more than 5 minutes? Are you kidding me?
That's the complacency shoulder.
Dude, she bought 1.3 million in NVIDIA shares on the dip.
Wait, didn't Tommy say that she also bought the complacency shoulder at like 137?
Yeah, she's making up for that now.
She knew what she was doing. Don't worry about it.
She's martingaling.
Yeah.
She's getting ready to bring out some legislation that's going to pump the stock.
I mean, literally, yeah. Why would she?
She definitely knew that Microsoft was going to be buying back like 19 billion in semis. That's the big reason that AMD and Nvidia popped. Was Microsoft was like, yeah, we're buying 19 billion in semis at some point in the future, not necessarily right now, but she definitely was privy to that information. As you know, Nancy loves to be, but.
How dare you? She saw it in the charts.
You know what's funny with NVIDIA, bro? Like every time people bid semis, they bid freaking electric cars. I don't know why this is a thing, but they continue to bid electric cars.
I told Tommy, if you get 105, do you remember this? I literally told you, I said, exit your shorts. If you
Why
get
do you think that I
105.
believe the bottom is already in on Nvidia?
Do you remember this conversation though?
I do.
Oh my
Tommy,
god!
do you remember when you nailed that short for SPX in like October? Do you
I
remember
do.
that?
You guys.
Do you remember what
I
happened?
mean,
though?
Yeah, I do
you
remember.
guys.
Do you remember what happened after you
Give
nailed the
me a
short?
break. You guys are
I do remember,
hunting
yeah.
him right now. Give him a break.
No, he gets no
Three
break.
of you.
He gets no
No,
breaks.
I look. I didn't. I actually gave him breathing room. All right, in my statement. Was my statement unfair, Tommy? Was it unfair?
No,
gave
no,
you
I
the
don't
world
think the
scenario
statement was unfair. It's a big bounce from Nvidia. I'll admit it was a bigger bounce than I expected it to give intra-week, but I still don't really feel all that confident. That
We're under resistance. We're under resistance. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But if we get above resistance, cut that shit, bro. Like, I'm just telling you, friend to a friend. I don't want to see you get back on those games.
It's also like I've said, I'm more interested in TLT moving up than I am in Nvidia moving down. I've said that repeatedly.
No, yeah, we know you don't have like
And
your
that is
net worth
moving
in
nicely
Nvidia
now.
puts. Like, yeah.
No, but I want to see you make money. I don't care about net worth.
I don't want to see you.
I have made money on them.
He's still in profit, guys, in a good profit on Nvidia.
I'm in profit
Oh,
on my
no.
longs too.
Oh,
My
God,
calls
I'm
on
sorry.
Rivian and Lucid are in
Sorry.
profit.
Ignore
We're talking
that.
about the long end.
Yeah, we're talking about the long end, brother. All right.
I kind of miss the blue and purple candles. So
No, Tommy, no, Tommy.
Hold on,
I didn't
why are
think
we
I would
adjusting
miss
this?
them, but I do.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
no.
misses them all right.
No,
he
no,
misses
no.
them.
No
Everybody
one
misses
misses
them.
No.
They'll come back one day with a
They
vengeance.
hurt. They hurt my head to look at.
With a vengeance. But look at TLT, man. You're real close, I think. You're real close to getting to breaking out of here, man.
You think they're gonna make you wait until
you're not real
September
close.
meeting?
You are there. They are cutting, man. It's just gonna go up.
Yeah,
they might make you wait until sending it. They might make you wait until the September 18th meeting. That's my only thought. Like spot TLT, don't even worry about it. Send it. You know what I mean?
Here's the easiest thesis, though, Max. If risk absolutely blows out here and Bitcoin doesn't move and high caps don't move, I would say at that point you can take your money and kind of sit a little bit, right? Like, I'm not saying like get out of the market, but I'm saying like maybe de-risk a little bit because you're probably going to get slammed if that shit happens. It just, where does it happen at? I think risk is going to take the hell off and you're going to be able to make a big ass bag here. And then you could de-risk a little bit once that occurs. And this has been my thesis the whole time. And I'm not saying de-risk into cash. I'm saying like de-risk into less volatile assets and then flip back once the shit hits the fan.
Will's de-risking is like moving from like a 15 mil market cap up to like a 400 mil market cap. That's just de-risking.
It's kind of high, bro.
400. Yeah, I was gonna say
way too high. Yeah, way too high. Dude, I don't know. This
one shit coin to another when I'm de-risking.
I feel like even now you could buy some like 105s for, when are they cutting? September, for like November or October 1st. October 1st 105s, I bet would just print, man.
Notice the rising probability for a half a basis point cut. If that happens,
I know that's bad. That's bad.
It's still at 12%, but it was at 4% just a week ago. From 4%, like we talked about, like it wasn't even a possibility for a rate cut a little while ago. Now it's not only a guarantee, but we are talking half a basis point. If that happens, TLT is gonna send, man. And Tommy knows this, and I know this.
I mean, TLT is probably the best hedge, man. It really is. I could see that. I like that. I might have to go buy those.
Bro, the whole market's green. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, whole market's green.
A little bit.
Like, everything's popping off right now, except for, so my entire top of my screen here is green, 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 red, green, green, green. Guess what's red? Guess what's red?
Dixie and Bitcoin dominance. Come on now.
The VIX. The VIX is red.
Too.
The VIX is red.
Pendle's red for the boys. There you go. Jackus and Tommy. Pendle nice and red.
Why the fixation on
Loving
such a
it.
shit coin? Why?
Hold up,
Because
let's
it's
pull
gonna
it
go
up.
down.
Why did you guys one day wake up and go fuck Pendle and
Chose
just?
violence, bro.
I don't get it.
Chose violence.
You guys
We,
just
cho- we,
woke up
cho-
and
we
had a
chose
problem.
violence.
Yeah.
No,
You
it's just such a dead chart. Like it's broken. It's clearly broken the
It
bull
looks bad.
bull
Yeah.
market, and it's just gonna go to zero.
What if it just like reverses here and breaks all-time high?
What if like tomorrow asteroids comes in and the world ends, right? Like both have like 0% probability or like 0.0000001.
Yeah, so there ain't no such thing as zero probability.
There's no such thing as asteroids, bro. They can't penetrate. It's not-
Yeah, what are you talking about with
Wait, are you
asteroids,
telling me
man?
you do not believe in the rock anymore? Ooh.
No, the rock is within, Jack. It's the rock.
So
is
there's
within.
comets and there's asteroids. Don't make us get into this.
You're a
philosophical
space lark.
conversation.
You guys are all space
You're
larks.
a space lark.
Oh shit!
Imagine thinking that anything could get in here.
That was something that I was thinking about earlier this week, actually. I saw like a little YouTube short about an asteroid hitting Earth, and I was like, well, I'm not going to worry about that because Tucker and Max say space isn't real.
No, yeah, you guys do not have
Flat
to worry
Earth?
about that.
Flat
Don't
Earth?
worry about it.
Yeah, trust me, we're good, guys. We're good.
Yeah, we're okay.
We're good. It's not happening.
Do we freeze to death if we go to the edges of the Earth?
What?
Because it's
I
so
don't know.
cold and it's covered
Why
by
don't you
ice.
walk there and let me know, Will?
Walk there.
See if the government will let you walk there. Huh?
The government.
They won't.
Study the Antarctic Treaty, Will.
Yeah.
Study it. Study it.
So what happens if I get in a spaceship and then I go into a place and I can float?
You mean the airplanes that go high up?
Or you mean when they go and film it underwater? Which one? This got real smooth real quick.
They're not ready, Tucker. It's fine.
No, they're not. They're not. I'm sure they like this chart though. This is a big red candle right here for you guys wondering. It's where you're going probably on Pendle, because why not? I'm fine
Tucker.
if it goes down.
IWM's chatting.
Boys.
Dude, look at that chart.
Boys.
Risk on metric achieved.
Study the IWM weekly chart, man. What are we talking about?
Dude, what percent is it up today?
1.05.
Okay. Imagine we get one of those days where we close like 3% green on IWM.
Nvidia's up 12, SMH up 7, XLK, the tech ETF, basically QQQ up 3, QQQ up 2.5.
And trust me, there's nothing concerning about this mega pump right before FOMC. Trust me, we're good.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
guys.
It's never
fine.
once fooled us before. Trust me, we're
It's
good.
literally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I see no issue here. We're good.
Remember this old pair?
This shit. Run
This
it.
is either like the best place in the world to start hedging into FOMC or bears are about to die. No in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one or the other. It's one or the other.
Yeah,
Who reported earnings this week?
because Bitcoin did.
And we blew it out of the
Microsoft
water.
and AMD so far, right? Google, maybe. I don't know.
Because Bitcoin came in at
That's-
4 quadrillion per share.
My longs are printing. My calls are
80
printing.
billion in revenue.
Sell them, Will. It's going to zero. Sell them. Sell everything.
They're printing. Oh shit.
Dude, what was interesting actually was this chart that I just marked up a little bit while you guys were waffling about coin, I think. So on Bitcoin SPX, the highest monthly close was the Shmiko top in March, right? Where this was not obviously the same on the USD pair. And then the bottom was a perfect retest of the March 22 complacency shoulder. So this thing is trading super, super clean. And we're kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Like we're in that spot, right? Where you gotta hold this. And it looks worse than BTC USD, right? Like BTC USD is probably like up in this region, but There's some signal here, man. There's some signal here, honestly.
There's a lot of signal in that chart, bro. A
Yeah.
lot of signal in that chart. And if you put Bitcoin below it and you zoom way out, you can see when that chart historically performs well.
Yeah.
And it's like right about now, man.
Oh, I already had it down there.
Right about now.
That's a real statement. Birds aren't real.
Yeah,
Did he
no,
say
we all
birds
know
aren't
birds
real?
aren't. We all know birds aren't real.
The
Put your top
smooth
chart
braining in the
Tucker.
comment section right now is elite. I don't know if you guys have read it.
I mean,
That's where we are right now, man. It's right there.
yeah, I know.
You're about to have the golden bull run. Remember when Jackus was trying to convince me a long time ago that we wouldn't see diminishing returns this cycle?
Yes, and he
Study
was
Jackus from 6 months ago when I was
Yeah.
saying it was going to be.
Giga
That
pulled
is
up.
that is still the same Jackus.
Giga pulled
Yeah,
up.
there's no diminishing returns. I think what we saw in 2021 was an echo bubble caused by QE and lower interest rates. What we're
It
about
was
to
just
see right
inflation
now is
bubble.
the super cycle.
What we saw, Max, in 2021 was just money printing cycle. What we are going to see this cycle is going to be the money printing alongside adoption, which is the 2017 one. So I do not think we're gonna exceed 2017, but I think we're gonna exceed 2021 in terms of
For sure.
percentages.
Yep.
Tommy, cut at 117, bro. Just trust me. If
Will,
it
didn't
hits
you just say you were
117,
going to be the nice one to Tommy and leave him alone?
all right, I'll be quiet.
Screaming at him to
Allow
cut.
Guys,
the-
I've been
allow
cut
the-
the NVIDIA puts basically since I took them. So
Allow the bullying to me, Will. All right. Let me bully Tommy into being a bull. All right.
I just want everyone to remember when I told him exactly where the bottom was, to the penny. To the penny. And this is not a
How
an
much of
attack.
this bounce is because Nancy Pelosi bought and is disclosed?
All of this bounce is because of Tucker's
Wha-
spider line.
Why do you think? Why do you
All
think
of
she
it.
discloses it? She discloses it on purpose. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a $200 fine. That's fine. I'll make millions."
Yeah, she doesn't care about the fines, man. She doesn't care.
her showing that she's buying NVIDIA or disclosing that she's buying NVIDIA is like us shilling a meme coin on Twitter.
Yeah. And that's
know-
even what Warren Buffett does these days. Like he knows that when he buys something, right? So he's like making an accumulation into some stocks. He makes it, right? Then he announces it because he has to. And then the stock goes up so much because of that.
And Jackus, and he gets special prices. He gets to buy from larger shareholders or directly from the board at discounts to what the spot price is actually trading at. So by the
Oh my
time you
God.
find out about it, he's already up 20% on his position from his average entry.
Yeah.
It's
Study.
just it's boomer shit coining. It's boomer shilling. Then they go on CNBC and they talk about it. Remember that one guy who what was the company, Uphold or whatever, or like Upstart or something? And he went on
Yeah.
CNBC and they're like, "So why are you bullish on like Upstart?" And he was like, "Sorry, what? I can't hear you."
What was the question? Yeah.
He was
So-
just looking to get out of his position. He needed people to buy it. That's literally it.
Yeah.
So Shale says the thesis for crypto largely booming is on the single assumption there will be an injection of liquidity. I feel like people just have PTSD of liquidity injections. Like the economic data. I'm sorry, I'm going to attack you. The economic data, right? When it comes to liquidity injections, that's only happened.
said it.
Price goes up regardless of liquidity injections or not. Look at Bitcoin's history. It's never been just solely on the reason of liquidity injection. When you get price cuts, what is a price cut? Well, it's basically the Fed coming to say we're going to reduce rates. What do I mean by that? It means cheaper money. What is cheaper money? When you borrow money, you do it at an interest rate, right? So when they start cutting interest rates, what does that mean? That means cheaper money. That means people can borrow more. And when there's cheaper money, what does that mean for lenders? It means lenders are looser on their terms, right?
But Will, it's important to disclose that there is a lag time to when those interest rate cuts actually work their way through the plumbing of our economy. Because if they are aggressively cutting rates, it could imply, hey, we're trying to get ahead of a problem. So you are correct, but it's important to disclose that if they're mean reversion rate cuts, that's bullish. If they're rate cuts because the labor market's deteriorating or something like that, which I don't think we're seeing right now, by the way, then it can be a problematic. It's an issue. So,
yeah, but that's one side of the coin, and I agree with that. If they're cutting for a reason,
no, that was both sides. That was both scenarios.
No, but what I'm talking about specifically is people going to the bank, pulling out a $10,000 loan, and saying, "I'm going to make it in crypto and throwing it into Bitcoin or some other shitcoin." And you will see that this cycle as rates get lower, because people can get $10,000 or $20,000 at the bank with relatively probably a 60 to 70K income ratio, and then they can go and take that and they can gamble that away. I saw people do it in 2021. We'll see people do it again this cycle. Because why? Because rates will be cut, and when rates get cut, guess what? Money becomes easier to access. And what money is that? A lot of it's just fake money. It's money you have in your bank account that they also loaned out to Jack and they also loaned out to Jill, but still exists in your bank account. Right? That's stackable money. That's like 2-3x your money on money that never existed. And they give you a loan based on that. And if they default on the loan, what does the bank do? Hey, government, we took a hit here, and here. We need tax write-offs. We need discounts. We need funding because we got hit on these people that defaulted on their loans. So the fake money continues to print in one way or another. That's the point I wanted to get to.
That's fair. I like your points, Tucker. What?
Hang
on, can you put a different
man.
Bitcoin chart on that shows the earlier cycle too? I feel like you've got a bad Bitcoin chart on.
Let's do BLX.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
You're gonna have to deal with it then.
Oh man.
Deal with it. So yeah, this copper to gold thing is pretty interesting. You want it to go up, I think you want it to go up is what I'm getting from this. Like
You do
want it to go up, and it's going down.
Yes. Now that's a pretty ugly rejection you have right there.
Yeah, you do want this thing to go up for sure.
Like, that's a clear bearish continuation you have
But
so I should sell all of my positions because one stupid metal against another stupid metal is going down. Is that what you're telling me, Tucker?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because of the material that your watch is made out of, valued as a comparison against some of the metal in my home, I should sell my Bitcoin because of that.
Copper wiring, yeah.
Really?
Well, this is
because my gutters divided by your watch is going down in value.
My gutters divided
people
by
in the comments are like, so how does my shitcoin on Dex Screener, what does it mean if copper to gold ratio is going up or down?
Hold on, there we go. So yeah, this is an interesting little divergence here, huh? Right. Usually these go together, right? Like,
dude, go back to 2016. We're in that bottom in 2016, Tucker.
Boom,
that's it. No. You need to cherry pick.
I guess this, yeah, we're gonna cherry pick them.
You need to cherry pick better. There you go.
So here to here.
Yeah, that's where we are right now. End of discussion.
And then it just went boom. And it went boom.
Yeah, it went boom.
Yeah, we just need a boom.
It's gonna go boom.
Okay. I'm cool
but
with
how,
that.
if gold is rallying in new all-time highs after new all-time highs, and central bankers are accumulating the most in 60 years? Is my question.
Are they accumulating copper as well?
They're accumulating gold onto their balance sheet from FX reserves. No cope.
This pair is broken because of that. Because we
Yeah.
have conditions changing to a point where they haven't been in the past decade.
That's the problem with like
Yes.
non-crypto stuff, like stocks, bonds, commodities. Like there's too many variables, right? Like I'd rather just stick to crypto. Like, the central banks clearly manipulating the gold chart or whatever, right? They're just accumulating gold, so that's gonna mess up the copper to gold ratio. Right. I don't know. This thing bottomed and we ripped, but I don't know how much signal there is because it's been off, right? Like this crypto bottomed and went up, what, 4x, while copper to gold went straight down, like, right? So does it matter? Does it matter? I
Dude,
don't
everything
know.
is flying right
Do
now.
you guys know that banks in China are collapsing and there are runs on banks and people are lining up in kilometer-long queues to buy physical gold coins?
It sounds like it's time to buy stocks.
Okay.
No, it's time to buy gold. There is going to be gold's probably going to like 5 or 10,000 an ounce, man. But Bitcoin's just going to go up way more. So it's like I'm just going to hold crypto. But
I feel like the gold trade was really good before the breakout. Like a lot of people are just so late to the gold trade. Like I was seeing the gold trade
No.
probably in like 2021.
I don't think the gold trade has started, Will. I don't.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think
The
it still
bull
has
run
upside, but
just
that's a 2x.
Here we go again. Yeah, it's like Will is true, right? Will is right here because gold is not. It's the largest market cap asset in the world. It's not gonna do an outsized returns. Never. Like
That's Oh, go ahead.
it cannot do that because of its market cap. It cannot do it. But it's gonna go up in value, which signifies big trouble for risk on.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I don't know about it being big trouble for risk on. I just know that
Study.
there's always periods, right? There's always periods in the market where risk on is always going to be a factor. There's always periods where it's not going to be a factor. And I think like even with gold chatting, like breadline, like I feel I say I feel.
Did you just say
I
bread lines?
No. So
I thought you were about to say bread
no,
lines.
I am going to the breadline thesis, but it's different than what you think. So I think
bread.
people, they like to look at things like when we had bread lines and we had like people actually out of work and people like living on the streets and shit like that, and they think that can occur again. Every time we have a major event that happens, like we'll say, the pandemic, we can look at 2008 housing crisis, we can look at 2000.com bubble, so on and so forth. There are bumpers put in place to keep that event from happening again, and then it has to be a new event, right? And so I've looked at time and time again. If we didn't have bread lines of 2008, we're not going to have bread lines anytime. It's never going to happen. And I think that's what people don't get is like we're not going to get to that point anymore. Like systemic downside is going to be muted because they will put bumpers in place to stop the downside from cascading to such a significant degree. Now, the pandemic is a different scenario, right? That's a whole different scenario because people were dying during that happening. But if it's not a case where people are dying and people are just losing their homes and losing all their money, I don't think that there's any possibility that they won't put a bumper in place to stop it from happening.
I think the bigger thing with COVID was that they literally just shut businesses down. So there wasn't any economic activity.
They slowed economic activity on purpose, right? That was the intention there. It was the slow economic activity. And when you slow economic activity, you should expect major repercussions to doing that. But people knew months in advance before the cascade in stocks, before the cascade in crypto, that they were going to slow economic activity. They said they were going to slow economic activity by saying, "Hey, you're not going to work. You're not going outside. You go out to stores at minimal scenario." That's going to affect a lot of financial situations for people. and companies, because your buying power is going to go down too, or your selling power, we'll say.
Well, just imagine being a company levered to the gills, and then COVID happens. You're like, well, I'm screwed.
Yeah. No, Andres, I would actually argue that point. So Andre says, bro, if you have billions, you want to have it mostly in gold. No, I would argue you want to have it in bonds. You have a guaranteed yield. Guaranteed yield.
If I had $1 billion, it'd probably be spread out in like cash, bonds, gold, and Bitcoin.
Yeah. You might keep gold just for something to liquidate.
Do you guys know that SPX is not outperforming gold? They move in exactly the same in terms of percentages.
Jackass. Are you talking about, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about this month or what?
No. I mean, like over long enough period of time, they move side by side. So if you like take, for example, the last 20 years or 60 years, they just move together.
Jackass,
they posted like
sure?
6. I've checked this. So I know this for sure. Actually,
Tucker, just type in gold divided by SPX, bro.
Yeah, but I kind of like this. You know what I mean? That's all you need, right? That's all you need to see.
Well, that goes back to the 80s. Go to like,
where do you want to go to? I mean, we can go back to wherever. Jackass, gonna need you to explain this.
Yeah, so if you're gonna go on SPX, right, and you're gonna let me put it in log, and you're gonna start it from like 71, you will see that which is the year when gold became a tradable commodity. You'll see that SPX did like 5,000%, right? And if you're gonna go onto gold,
oh, Tucker gets smoked, bro.
$35.
Tucker.
Oh, we're saying since 71, gold's outperforming. Is that what you're saying?
Since the ETFs went live, right? Or is it since we ditched the gold standard?
Yeah.
Oh,
so you
wow,
always
look at that.
You always have, and that's the real thing. Like 71 is when gold became a tradable commodity, and you always have periods where stocks outperform, and you always have periods where golds outperform. But more or less, they move in tandem. I think in like since like the millennia began, I think gold outperformed even.
I have a great piece of research I can send you, Jack, is talking about preserving wealth over a century of time. Because when you think about it, it's like, yes, the last 30 to 40 years, stocks have gone straight up in a straight line. But if you look back further than that, there really isn't just like a one size fits all type of strategy for markets. There's obviously a lot of volatility ingrained within the course of a century. That's not exclusive to markets. That's geopolitics. That's the changes that we see in our world. There's going to be a lot, like there's just a lot of shit that goes on over the course of a century. So when you think about like, what assets am I holding now that I could pass on to my children when I die in about 30 or 40 years, what do you really think about? And I think actually thinking about the question itself is kind of difficult.
You know what I just picture when you say that, Tommy, is just Michael Saylor just like going on a rant about Bitcoin.
Wait, Tommy, did you say in 30 or 40 years?
Well, I'm not going to, I hope I don't die in like 30 or 40 years.
25, bro.
I know, but like, think about when you die. Think about when you die, what assets, like if you're holding assets that you want to pass on to your children with the premise that like, okay, these will, one, not depreciate against whatever sort of turmoil happens in my country, but also like outperform and appreciate through time. Like the list gets smaller and smaller and smaller when you really think about it. There aren't that many things that perform super well over time. It's all about like what phase of what phase you're in, essentially.
It's not equities, bro. It's not equities. It's real estate, precious metals, and probably Bitcoin. And that's
Yeah,
it.
real estate's really good.
And bonds
And
sometimes.
probably Andy, honestly.
Probably Andy.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what's funny? I always hear a lot of people that get into crypto, and then they're like, "When I make it big, I'm gonna get into real estate."
Tell me is 60. Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
look
Evan.
really good for my age.
Did you guys know that, like, over a long enough period of time, or not long enough, but like, whenever you go back into history, your purchasing power for gold is literally the same. So like, you can buy for gold what you bought in like 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. It's basically like, sometimes it does oscillate, but more or less it's the same, which I find interesting. You can go
So
1,000
the moral of
years
this
ago.
story is do not hold dollars ever. just
Basically.
just gold.
I think what Tucker has here, right? This is a chart I use as well. And what you can see is that there are periods when it's better to hold stocks, and there are periods when it's better to hold gold. And right now you're at a clear resistance where you have, and I mean, like, how more brain dead this can be, that central bankers, the largest financial institutions in the world, are buying gold since 71. They're buying the most since the year 71.
Yeah, I mean, because
You know
how
what that
long
chart
did
makes
this
me
one
think
have?
of? That chart
Huh.
reminds me of SPX. Tucker, open up a new tab. Keep that up, bro. Open up a second window to the right. It looks to me like type in SPX divided by M2SL and then zoom way out, like monthly. And then go to the monthly. It looks like that same chart to me. It's just lagging. See that?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. So you think we're here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's make this green.
It looks really similar. It's just lagging.
So that, and then yeah, I actually see that. Wow, equity's about to break out against gold. Where's 71? Let's do that right there.
Dude, David Hunter may have been right, honestly.
Study him.
I still think his window of time is too short. Like, David Hunter will be right, but
I doubt that equities are about to break against gold when you have central bankers accumulating it the most, and you see gold at fresh new all-time highs after breaking a decade-long cup and handle formation.
Jackus, what if they pump stocks for like the next couple years, and then you could still have your decade of commodities, but we could get a huge exit pump on stocks first.
But we already got that. We've been in the bull market since 2008.
But we haven't, because if you look at the average like earnings per share or multiple that companies are trading off of, it's nowhere even close to what we saw in like the .com bubble. I think like the average like earnings multiple forward looking for the S&P right now is maybe like 20 or 23 or something like that. During the .com bubble, it was like over 100. Like, that's a real bubble. We haven't seen a true like.
That is fair, but it is the highest since then, and it is way higher than it was in 2008. And guess what happened in 2008, right? It's way higher than that. You do not need like PE ratio to be at extremes as it was during the .com bubble, but it's already high enough. I mean, it's entertaining to say these what ifs, but it's really like, if we were like, what if like Putin, nukes the world tomorrow? I mean, what happens then? And we can entertain that, but like, And I mean that's probably has a better chance of happening.
Probably.
Look at that. Bullish. Bullish. How long did this take, though? 5,000 days. My goodness.
16 years?
Got plenty of time for that.
Almost
We got
like
about
that's
another
the Plutonic
1,000
cycle
days.
for Capricorn. That's crazy.
Tommy, we got another 1,000 days of stocks outperforming gold. What is that, 3 years? What is that, 2027? Who could have foreseen, Tommy? Who could have foreseen? You.
No, I
by
think
the
we're a
way.
lot higher. I mean, obviously, I think we're a lot higher in 2026 or 2027.
But I'm saying that should be like, well, I guess the top's not in for SPX over M2SL, so you know.
I would agree with that until that time period. I don't think you see it top until at some point in the Trump presidency. I don't think that would really make sense to top before it, right? At least that's just my view. I mean, I don't really view this as, I see there are some parallels I think you can make to 2007, 2008, but I personally lean more towards mid-cycle correction than cyclical top.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good call, Max, on that comparison. That looks pretty damn identical.
Yeah, it does. Don't fade.
It does, but the charts are completely like
Bullish on tuck watch.
Doesn't make sense.
You're just an old gold bug, is what you are, Jackus. You need to wake
a
up the
boomer.
U.S. equity market. You old gold bug. Well,
Just reading the comments. Sorry.
I was going to say, well, might be time to call it because we've been going for an hour and 42 minutes. We got FOMC coming up.
Oh, boys, we got to get ready.
We do have to get ready, man. All right, Tommy.
How long until he speaks?
An hour and a half, or an hour 45 till he talks.
I'm ready to rev myself up for him to say something, and then he's going to say absolutely nothing.
I know, man. I know.
Daddy.
I think this time he might say something, though. I think
TLT looks like he's going to say something. I mean, I will say that. Talk about the long end, Jerome.
Hey, TLT being bullish is good. Is good.
Bro,
for risk,
shit's
man.
about to blow up.
Really
I think people are missing the pointers here. Look at risk right now, Tommy. Look at freaking risk, bro. Look at IWM. Look at the VIX. Shit's about to blow.
Well, it's either the best place in the world to hedge.
Bro, FOMC is going to be a tiny dip and then a rip to the upside. You're gonna like, what happened to my shorts? They're going to be like zero.
I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see.
Somebody's getting margin called. I don't know who, but somebody is.
I'm not getting margin called on mine. I'll tell you that.
It's either Will or Tommy.
I'm not getting
margin called.
I know. I'm playing.
Look, Tommy's on the short side. I'm on the long side. We're gonna see who's getting margin called here. Okay, I'm up significantly too.
I still have those hood calls, by the way. I thought they were going to go to zero, but I guess there is still hope for them. Either way, guys, it was a good show. We cooked for a really long time. What's the like button looking like? If we're not over 300, I'm throwing hands. All right, we're at 316. Good stuff.
There we go.
I'd be throwing hands with the man behind me, probably. The figment of my imagination.
His Excellency?
His Excellency. Oh, all right. That's enough yapping for me, though. To run through a few things before we officially wrap up the stream, guys. Reminder that we have rolled out our brand new hedge fund, BB Wealth Management. That is a fund that obviously trades primarily digital assets and does so in a way that focuses on their asymmetric history for upside returns, as well as the investment risks posed in any market. We're excited not just that we can trade it as a team, but also that we can offer you guys, the community, the opportunity to become involved as well. So if becoming an LP or becoming an accredited investor is something that interests you, we do have more information linked in the description of this video below. Just reach out to us. We'll do our best to get back to you as quickly as we can. Of course, also I mean, it's been a few months now at this point that we launched the BB Academy. We're already getting some of you guys asking for additional content on the educational side, which I think is really cool and very reflective of the value that is currently provided in the course. I mean, you guys get to learn from everybody that you see on this panel, outlining, you know, kind of how we approach the market, how we trade, and how we analyze these charts. So if the BB Academy, studying the BB Academy is something that interests you, oh, I love it, Tucker. We do have more information linked in the description of this video below. Of course, also with our programming, if you enjoyed Market Check, we'll be back for another episode, cooking you guys up a delicious meal post FOMC tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A reminder that we are live Monday through Friday on Market Check at the same time whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open. Of course, we also have Market Talk hosted by the legendary King Wabi. If you want an update from the market or just commentary on the market, a great market talk, some might say, to talk about what FOMC, what happens throughout the day. I'm sure we're not done seeing eventful things into the daily close. But make sure to tune in for Wabi's show this afternoon as well for additional commentary. And the timing of Wabi's show can vary a little bit from day to day, but we always communicate when we go live on Twitter. So make sure to stay subscribed so you can be notified when that happens. But that is it from us, guys. Looking forward to Powell speaking here in about a little over an hour. We'll see if, or I guess it's a little bit more than that, isn't it? But we'll see if it's a bunch of yap as usual, or if there's actually some actionable information contained in the words that he's speaking. I'm sure we'll be able to tell here over the next few days how the market reacts. But that's it from us. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day, fantastic rest of your week if we don't see you again. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in and stay safe.